Hello. I wanted to take a look at something. I got sent at least 6 emails today about one subject only. And someone posted a video about how much they hate fisheyes. I think if you have too much hair on the top of your head, then maybe it strangles the circulation to your brain. So I won't say who made that video. I'll just give a couple quotes. Look, I own every Nikkor fisheye ever made. And let's talk about fisheye lenses. And they are tons of fun, but there are a lot of things that are tons of fun that are not necessarily that productive. So let's put the fun aside and let's get serious about it. I mean, you could wear some underwear made out of Jello and stick a tinfoil hat on your head and, run naked through the mall, and that might be fun, but it, it probably didn't impress anybody, and it's probably not that productive. So saying a fisheye is fun, and they are fun, is, ultimately, okay, you enjoy it, gotta have a little pleasure in life, but what about actually making the money, wedding shots, portraiture, landscape photography? Oh, we can get serious about that, okay? I'm going to read off some exact quotes made by brain strangulation, which is my only conclusion. And by the way, this video that this person posted, it already has enormous hate, which must be why somebody linked it to me. And when I laughed it, I didn't know whether, when I watched it, I didn't know whether to laugh or to cry. Cry laughing, really, not like cry instant upset. Photography is an art form, and if you execute the shots and the composure, straight lines don't have a damn thing to do with anything. If you're an architectural photographer and you have to have things very specific, or you're doing reproduction work of, like, say, this is where it's really important. You dig up an archaeological artifact and they have lenses for reproduction. You actually have to have a perfect reproduction of the image, and you have a little scale. That's where it's important. Perspective control lenses, not so much here. So this notion of straight lines being better, this is absolute BS. This person states that to use a fisheye lens takes out entirely the ability to be creative, since it even, for an example, he says even at f2.8, the depth of field is basically 0 to infinity, and that's pretty true. I don't know if you've ever owned a fisheye lens before, but when you're talking about closest to infinity, you're like here versus here. I mean, here's your movement. Infinity, closest. Infinity, not, depends on the lens, but that's pretty accurate. Is that statement accurate? No, that statement is 100% false. The truth is, and I've been doing photography a lot longer than this person has, no matter what anybody thinks of me, I don't give a damn. Been using fisheye lenses for well over 20 years. Love fisheye lenses. They do have their place. This is true. You shouldn't be, going out one day with only a fisheye lens on your camera, unless you have a specific shot in mind. The notion that a fisheye lens takes out the ability to be creative, not only is this 100% BS, the exact opposite is the truth. When you know how a fisheye lens renders an image, like you could take a gorgeous woman and make her look butt ugly if you slightly decenter her off of a fisheye lens. She's like, beautiful, ugly, beautiful, ugly. I have seen some of those gorgeous portraiture shots where a person's curved body, the human body has curves, so this notion of straight lines being better, well, I'm sorry to let you know this, but most things in nature don't have any straight lines, and photography is an art form. I've seen beautiful, like, nude, one of them was a gorgeous shot. It was a beautiful nude, and the person knew how a fisheye lens worked, and he framed the person perfectly around that curvature so that it made one of the most beautiful portraitures I've ever seen in my life. I wished I had a link to that shot. I don't know where it is right now. There's so many pictures out there. So obviously, not my opinion. He's hardcore dead wrong, and just the opposite is the case. It actually takes a, you can give someone a good camera and a 105mm portraiture lens and, like, pop on the correct lighting. It is easier to take a gorgeous shot with that than it is a gorgeous shot with a fisheye. So the notion it takes more creativity to make a great shot with a fisheye. This person's exact quote was that fisheye lenses are passé and overdone crap. Really? Some of the most beautiful, like I said, I got links below. I want you to take a look at. You'll see some of the most beautiful shots you've ever seen taken with a fisheye. You have to know how a fisheye warps things. So this statement is absolute BS. It's nonsense. It's untrue. Another statement, fisheye is not cool. No, a fisheye is incredibly cool if you know how to use it properly. It's kind of the same thing with a light meter. You know, if you own a light meter, it ain't going to do you no good unless you know how to use it. A fisheye lens doesn't come with instructions, but you have to know how it renders an image. I mean, here you go to kind of normal. You tilt that lens off, and the image goes, wow. You can use that to your advantage, or you can make it really screwed up. So this statement is totally untrue. Another statement, fisheye makes images bowed and it looks like shit, he said. Yeah, they're bowed. It's a fisheye lens. You know, using curvature to your advantage is extremely effectual. There are some beautiful shots where people lay down in the middle of a forest and they have, the buildings are bowed, the trees are bowed, all sorts of things are bowed inward towards the fisheye. So, person's laying on their back, they got the fisheye pointing up, things are bowed. Some of the most gorgeous shots, some of the shots that actually make some serious money and people want some big-ass prints from. So, this person is full of it. Absolutely dead wrong. And once again, I think this is obviously hair strangulation of brain cells. At least that's pure speculation on my part. This person said that when I used the fisheye he basically implied back when I was young and stupid. Okay, and he used the fisheye. That was the implication, not the word said. I was getting everything in the shot. Yeah, fisheye is kind of like, wah, it takes everything in the shot. You're right about that. And therefore, no creativity was into creating it. No, composure in lighting and rule of thirds, everything applies to a fisheye lens. A fisheye lens is trickier to use. Any lens that requires more skill to execute properly means that there is more creativity in it. If you have to have more natural, innate skills here and here, that means there is more creativity going into the shot. So that is dead wrong. Another quote, fisheye shots are crap. Says you. Says you? Shut the hell up. You're dead wrong. You're dead wrong. There have been tons of fisheye shots that have won first place prizes all over the world. Some of the most gorgeous shots are fisheye shots. Another quote, no creative nature went into creating the shot when the fisheye lens was used. Really? Are you smoking crack? Did someone piss in your Cheerios? Did someone over-caffeinate you? That statement is BS. It's unicorn farts and pixie dust and, the crusty diapers of a leprechaun. I mean, it's stupid. That kind of statement, all of these statements are just asinine. They're stupid. They're ignorant, dumb statements, and the horrible negative feedback on that video. Look, I know someone's going to be like, well, you're attacking somebody else. No, I'm actually correcting inaccuracies. It's okay for someone to stand up like the little kid and go, the emperor's got no clothes on. Well, I'm doing the exact same thing. These statements are absolute bullocks. They're nonsense. They're twaddle. They're This is ridiculous. If you believe that, then I got a box of cigars rolled by leprechauns I'd like to sell you. What's wrong with somebody to say something like that about a fisheye lens? You're basically saying straight lines are better? Who the hell says? Photography is an art form. That's like saying all impressionistic art is invalid because it doesn't, it's impressionistic. What about Pablo Picasso? Well, that is totally Look at those warpy, bendy clocks melting on the side. Screw you. That's a Picasso. It's not realistic. Yeah, this woman has breasts. I forget which Picasso painting. This woman has giant breasts that are supported by sticks, and her head is like 10 times too, that painting is worth millions of dollars. Who the hell are you to say that straight lines are better? Photography is an art form, kiss my ass. Nonsense. I mean, this is just carp crap. That's an old southern saying, carp crap. Fish eyes are not cool. It's bowed. Yeah, it is bowed. But you can use that bowing to your advantage. I mean, like I said, I've seen the most beautiful nude portraiture. It wasn't tacky nude. It was a classy nude. Done with a fisheye lens, and it was just magnifique. It was par excellence. Seeing a shot like that was, as the French would say, raison d'être. A reason for being to even see a shot like that, much less to even, it's like, print me out one of those, man. How much does it cost? Here's the thing, too, and then I wanted to get into. You need to use, insofar as making money. What you do as far as pleasing yourself with that fisheye lens, that came out wrong, right? Making money with that fisheye lens, let me tell you a hardcore fact, okay? Because I've been doing photography a lot longer than the hair strangulator has. And that is when you go to a wedding shoot, obviously most of your shots are Trinity lenses, 70 to 200, 24 to 70, say an 85mm or 302.8 for some outdoor shots. When you take two lenses for salt, it's just like you cook something. You cook something marvelous, it's like, well, it needs a little pepper, it needs a little salt, or it needs a little paprika. That's exactly how you treat two lenses. Here's an example. Wedding shoot. And this is a hardcore proven fact with macro lenses, but it's also a hardcore proven fact with fisheye lenses. When you put together a wedding package and they see the final shots, I tell you what, when you toss in a little bit of pepper and a little bit of paprika, like a macro shot of the bride and groom's ring, the heart goes fluttering. They love it. When you stick a camera up on the end of a monopole and you put it over top of the bride and the groom cutting the cake or the ceremony, and you take a fisheye shot of everybody, especially if you're using like a Nikon D810, where you have really high resolution, you can make a big ass print of that. You'll see everybody in the room and the picture will be so clear you can make out what every person's face. Look, there's Bob, there's Jim. These are the salt and pepper, the paprika, the sugar and spice that makes up the perfect wedding package. It's like when things are getting a little bit dull, you switch out that lens, you pop on a fisheye, you take a shot, and the bride, they love it. They love it. I've never seen it not to work. So when you say stuff like fisheyes or passe or overdone crap, well, let me tell you what, brother man. Okay? Never known a wedding shoot where if done correctly, you have to know how to use your damn gear, obviously. I mean, this applies to any damn lens. When you include a fisheye shot and a macro shot in with a wedding portraiture, the wedding package, excuse me, they love it if it's done properly. So you're off your rocker, you're huffing something illegal because you're dead wrong on fisheye lenses. You're just dead wrong. They should be used in a limited fashion, but to say that they're uncool and they're passe and they're crap and fisheye shots are crap and there's no creative nature in using a fisheye, no, brother man. Let me talk through that bundle. Let me talk through that mass of ferret hair. It takes more creativity to use a difficult lens. This is true of anything. It's like, how is that thing? Well, it's pretty awesome, but it's hard to use. Most people don't use it, and when they do use it, they don't use it right. But if you develop the skills and you know how to use it, then the results can be awesome. That means it requires more creativity to use. This person is saying the exact opposite. It takes no creative nature in using a fisheye lens. Well, sorry, buddy, but you dead wrong. There's no arguing with me on anything I said in this video because I'm 100% right, and the other person is 100% wrong. Okay? And it's not about blame or pointing fingers. I'm sure that's what you thought I was doing, but it's about stating the facts. Let's get to the facts of the matter. And those are the facts. Hasta luego, увидимся, до свидания, пока, hasta la vista.